Good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you guys are at in the world today. This is Pastor Barry Lipscomb, and I'm just coming to you real quick. I wanted to talk to you about Antifa, Trump supporters, and January the 6th. Now, I know that this whole thing is just crazy. It's been blown out of the water. I mean, it's just, and people are still talking about it now because, of course, anything keeps going that the media keeps drumming up and keeps beating like a dead horse with a stick. But I just wanted to say to you, before we jump to conclusions, it's always good that we do investigating. A lot of times, people who only listen to mainstream media don't know where else to go to for their sources or for information, because that's all they've ever been fed is that. And so that's all they know is mainstream media. Me and my cousin, we kind of went round and round on this, and then I said some things to nip it in the bud, and he hasn't responded back yet. And he's one who can debate. I have some other friends they can debate, and they're very staunch left-wing liberals. Democrats, they call themselves progressives, but really it's actually being digressive. Uh, but anyways, so they asked me some questions, and I just say to you guys what I said to him. Just because an outfit or organization, news-wise, has $1 billion studio and people wear three-piece suits, don't make them newsworthy or credible. They have to come with hard-hitting facts and information and be consistent and loyal to the truth. Do we all miss it sometimes because we jump the gun on issues? Of course. Right, left, whatever. We all miss it. But there's a difference between somebody who truly and sincerely missed the ball on an issue and then comes back and honestly corrects themselves versus an organization or an individual who willfully and habitually tells lies and spins the news and spins truth because they want to attach a certain narrative and agenda to it to deceive the masses. And there's a lot of sleeping masses out there, a lot of sleeping sheep. And it's very sad and discouraging sometimes. But I just wanted to share with you, that at this Trump January 6th, let's rewind back before January 6th when we had all these Trump rallies and everything. There's never been, all of this ruckus and chaos going on, and then all of a sudden, Trump calls for all these people to come out and support him. And I'm not talking right now to you guys from a right or left perspective. I'm just talking to you from a truth perspective. I don't care whether it's Fox, MSNBC, or CNN. It's they're not concerned about your best interests. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all of them, they're not loyal to the truth. And a lot of times we put our faith and confidence in these people thinking that they're going to guide us correctly. No, they're not. They're only loyal and stick to their own agendas because the hierarchy gives them the talking points to talk about. You will speak about this, you will not speak about that. Point blank range. Now, President Trump, called his supporters out to support him, and rightfully so. You have the right, by all means, to do so, because he felt he was defrauded, which there's a lot of evidence that show he was, for the January 6th. And all of a sudden, they already start drumming up the narrative in the media. Oh, we're not going to have guns in this area. This and that, Trump supporters, and just really trying to spin up a narrative to demonize them. Now, I said, in my prayer time, I was praying, I said, now, I've seen this once, I've seen it twice, I've seen it many, many times. I've seen footage that the mainstream media will never show you, that they show in alternative media, that they show in other sources that you'll never see. And one thing they did, I was concerned about was, okay, they're going to put some bad actors in here, just like Charlottesville, just like other situations. They're going to put bad actors in here again, and they're going to cause a scene. And sure enough, so instead of jumping to conclusions, I said, I'm just going to sit back before I make a comment or say anything or come to a conclusion. I say, Lord, I'm going to just wait and I want to see what comes out. Sure enough, it was Antifa. And it was members of Antifa. And they even show footage. I've seen the videos, many different footages. I was trying to find this one on Facebook. Facebook took it down. Now, if it's still up there or somebody reposted it, let me know. Send it to me. Evangelisticoutreach at yahoo.com. Okay, so anyways, now we find out that this was Antifa, and Antifa was dressed up like Trump supporters wearing MAGA gear, and this was all planned. Now I'm gonna show you something here. Antifa, just like BLM, but Antifa, since we're speaking about them right now, is connected to the Democratic Party. And so, why? They even said that they were coming to Washington, D.C. A lot of people didn't take them seriously. So, when they led the way, about 50 to 100 of them went in, rushing through the doors. And on the back end of that, what happened? When Mike Pence said what he said, like a coward, he stepped down. What happened? That infuriated even true Trump supporters. By their mistake and their wrongdoing, right is right, wrong is wrong. What happened? Some of them came behind the Antifa, and they were the ones who got held liable, not the ones who were members of Antifa, which are all noticed, recognized, and labeled and identified by name. They know who they are and by name, so they're not going to get charged and prosecuted like members of Antifa, like some true Trump supporters will be charged. Were they wrong for just going in there? Yes. Now, it is the people's house. True. How they did it was wrong. And a lot of times these entitled politicians think that we work for them. No, they work for us. We pay their salaries. And they want to act like kings and treat us like the serfs. They want to give us $600 a month. Why they live high off the land, and they also, both parties get raises. Okay, but I'm gonna show you something here real quick, and this is Pastor Jerome, because he had put up the video, and I'm gonna show you this real quick.
He had on a gas mask, and he didn't. He just turned back around and just kept on going. These were the Antifa. They were planted there by the politicians, by the police officers, and they were all colluding together with Antifa. Many of those Antifa members have confessed that they were paid by the police officers.
This is Pastor Jerome.
Me and my pastor friend who went there, we were gassed. We were tear gassed. And we were just taking pictures. They turned around taking pictures of the crowd. Tear gas broke out. It burned my eyes, couldn't breathe. It was very, very terrible.
Now notice, peaceful supporters with even Pastor Toto from Toto's army, peaceful Trump supporters who were called terrorists by the media, who were demonized by the media. Many different accounts. Yes, the few who went in, or so how many ever went in with Antifa, were wrong, even though it stirred them to go in and break into the place. But they were wrong. But peaceful protesters labeled as terrorists, being pepper sprayed, being treated like criminals. And let him continue.
But we made it through it. I want to show y'all some video footage, and I want to kind of break it down with you. And I want to show you that this is nothing but an act to make Trump look bad and Trump supporters look bad. See, because this is what they all had it all set up. It was advertised that we were going to be there, that Trump and his supporters are going to be there. Hundreds of thousands, a million of us are going to descend on Washington, D.C. to support our president, support Stop the Steal. And they had something waiting on us, a plan to make us all look bad so that President Donald Trump could not and would not get the support from the senators who had promised to give him the support. They stabbed him in the back. And they too, I believe, were a part of this plan. Now, I'm going to break it down real quick. I want to show y'all this video where a police officer is being attacked by Antifa. But you could tell they were colluded because no harm is being intended. No harm is being intended. The police officer is not trying.
Now notice, it's one police officer. These two guys in the front are the same people afterwards who were taking selfies and pictures. And in the corner of one of the gentleman's pictures, it said their name with Antifa.com or org or one of the labels and handles on the end. Okay, now why was it only one police officer that whole time when they got into the Capitol? It should have been swarming with many different police officers and security guards that whole time for almost 2 to 3 minutes. One police officer, totally fake and staged. And who was the person holding the camera? I mean, filming this instead of being there. I know he surely couldn't have been a police officer. And if he was in on it just like the rest. There was videos of people escorting Antifa members up to the Capitol who were dressed up in police uniforms out of black trucks. Black trucks. Watch this.
Shoot anybody. He's not trying to harm anybody. He's not calling for backup. The door is open. He never looks at the camera. I want y'all to check this out. Okay, the first thing I want to show y'all is that the police officer is there by himself. These people knew that that Trump supporters were coming, right? And the mayor of the city had already asked for the military to be present. She had asked for the military to be present. They had a very poor police presence, y'all. Very poor. And if you got the military there, you have 10 or 12 police officers, and the police officers let the people in the building.
Now, this is Pastor Jerome, Jerone, Jerome TV, Pastor Jerome TV. This is his latest video he did as of right now, Friday, January the 8th. And so this is his video. You can look him up. And so much other film. And so this whole thing was fake, and it stinks to high heaven. Now notice, there was no Trump supporters burning down the city, looting, robbing, stealing, and killing on November the 3rd when Biden was projected the winner, or the day after. Okay? Whenever they figured out, I think it was that Saturday or whatever. Okay? There was no looting, robbing, stealing, and killing from any Trump supporters. You don't hear about that at their rallies. But all of a sudden, you have them being demonized and set up because Trump called for them to be there. So now all of a sudden, Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic Party, are are trying to have him impeached or removed by the 25th Amendment, which they asked traitor Mike Pence to do. But I guess Mike Pence said he's not going to do so, with the help of the majority of the remaining administration. So, here we are. But all of a sudden, see, look, they didn't want to cover January the 6th, the worship, the praise services, and the preaching that was going on there that I was watching, streaming from different people. Marcus Rogers. They didn't look at all the prayer events going on. I mean, all over the city. Over 1 million people in the Washington, D.C. mall area. Peaceful protests. They didn't cover none of that. But the media was set and ready and in proper place for this. And they latched onto that and they cleaned it like a dry bone. And that's what they focused on. Because you see, that's how they are. The media, the mainstream sellout media is just deceitful, and they're liars. That's all they do. They're in it for their own agenda to spin and twist. And so notice, they didn't talk about this and cover this issue right here on January 6th. They didn't treat Kenosha the same way when Antifa and so-called BLM was there. They didn't cover it like they covered this. They played it down. And they still demonized those who were patriots, who were trying to stand up and protect their businesses. They demonized and they castigated and ridiculed them on January the 6th, but they didn't treat Chaz and Chop in Seattle the same way. When people came in and took over a certain few 6 blocks in Seattle, people got killed, women got raped over an area that Democratic mayors in all of those cities would stand down and allow them to do everything they wanted to do. BLM, Antifa, run into federal buildings in Portland, burn up cities, fight police. Trump said he tried to regain order, in one of the cities in Portland, and by sending in the DHS, and the blue city mayors tried to fight that and say, no, you can't. Well, actually, he can. The thing is that they play it down and they allow it to happen. They aid and abet this criminality, and then they deny it. And then they say it's good. And then they say, as ABC News said, fiery but peaceful. Jerry Nadler denied it. Asked like, what are you talking about? Paraphrasing. They try to play that down, but they demonize those on the right. Listen. We're talking about truth versus lies. We're talking about where the media sits and where they stand, because they have an agenda. And with their agenda, it's going to be attached to who they are for and who they're against. Listen, they don't, if you're love this country, if you're patriotic in behavior, in other words, you love life, liberty, freedom, you love the gospel, you love Jesus Christ, the media hates you because the media is an extension of radical left ideologies and policies. Ever since the beginning, I can walk you back to some of the communist policies in the Communist Manifesto of 1960, how the media would be used as a major propaganda arm to do such things. Read the book Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. It's Hillary Clinton's favorite book. It's Barack Obama's favorite book, okay? But a lot of times when you even show people proof, even when you get down to the nitty gritty and you show them, they don't want to be woke up. They'll still deny it anyway. Listen, it's not about even right or left. It's about truth versus the lie and staying consistent and loyal to that. And a lot of times this is what we have, is people don't want to be woke up to the truth. So they remain in a state of denial. See, the thing is that all of these lies are going on and people eat it up like candy and gumdrops. Eating it up. Believing everything. Don't research nothing. Don't check nothing out. But just so quick to fall for it. So gullible. So dumb and ignorant. You guys got to wake up. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And not only there's a lot of misinformation out there, there's a lot of lack of information that you guys are not getting. Because you guys put your faith in this big corporate hierarchy, which the major 6, all the news corporations above it is the 6 major corporations. Think about the number 6. Satan loves the number. The 6 major corporations. That's it. So keep your eyes open, and Christians, if you fall into that category of being a sleeping sheep, I pray the Lord wakes you up. Now's not the time to fall into great deception, because there's going to be some things to deceive you. And I pray that you're awake. There's a lot of stuff you're not even being taught and being told. So when you see certain articles come out that just blow your mind, and I can understand who likes being lied to. Who likes having the truth kept from them, from a family member, from a spouse, from boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. Because you trust them to give you the truth and to shoot straight with you. And I see how some of you feel when you do wake up. You see all of this stuff going out and going forward, and you're like, wow, I didn't know this. You felt blindsided. So be prayerful and ask God for his discernment. Amen. Talk to you next time.